Thanks for staying with us. Now, it's one of the largest foreign direct inflows into India and certainly the biggest in e-commerce space. Amazon's founder, Jeff Bezos, has opened up the purse for India, announcing a $2 billion investment. But for e-tailer, it's just the tip of the iceberg, just the beginning of its plans for the country. Mail Today editor Sandeep Bamzai gets us more in this exclusive interview with Amazon.com chairman, Jeff Bezos.
Welcome to India, Jeff. It's nice of you to give us some time.
Thank you.
Welcome to TV Today.
Great to be here.
Let me get straight off the bat and ask you about our Prime Minister, who is returning from the United States, where he was feted and felicitated by not just the Indian community, but by Americans on the whole. What do you make of the new Prime Minister of India?
He has a fantastic international reputation. Seems practical and focused. I'm going to be meeting with him at the end of this week, and I'm going to be at his disposal to talk about anything he wants to talk about, and I'm super excited to meet him. People
like you, people like Satya, who's also here around the same time. Now one hears that Mark Zuckerberg is going to be here. So are people like you who come from a different space are going to enlarge the scope and size of the relationship between India and the United States?
I don't know. I mean, we'll have to wait and see. But I think that the scope of that relationship is pretty big already. And we've been Amazon, for example, been doing things in India for 10 years now. 10 years ago, we started a software development center in Bangalore, and we've built more operations in Chennai and Hyderabad. And then a year ago, we launched Amazon India, and it's grown beyond our wildest dreams already in just the first year. And we're investing more in it. So there's a lot going on, and I find India super energizing. I get here and I think the people are they're energetic, they're energizing, they're inventive, they're entrepreneurial. It's fun, it's exciting.
And yet Amazon was a latecomer. It only arrived here in June 2013.
Well, I'm kind of hopeful that our timing was exactly right. I mean, based on the results that I've seen so far, this team here in India, our India team, doing such a terrific job. But the growth, this is the fastest geographic launch we've ever had at Amazon. And so, sometimes you can be too early, sometimes you can be too late, sometimes you get lucky enough that you're just right. That's what I'm hoping.
But there's something interesting about the Indian market as far as e-tailing is concerned.
Yeah.
We've got some really strong homegrown entrepreneurs in this field. So how do you view the competition? Because these guys have achieved some sort of critical mass in the businesses already, and they've got funding from global private equity players, etc. And you're now pledging $2 billion of your own in Amazon India. So how do you view the marketplace as it stands today?
Well, I could say a few things about it. One is, I think the approach that our team is taking seems to be working incredibly well. They're really relying on small and medium enterprises, and they're building tools that facilitate those small and medium businesses to get their products to customers. So make it easy for those small and medium businesses to sell to the whole digital ecosystem. We're really taking advantage of the mobile ecosystem. So one of the things that's interesting about India, besides how many small and medium businesses there are, how many mobile phones there are.
Correct.
And that's growing by leaps and bounds, and the smartphones are getting less expensive and more capable. So that's also very exciting. And we have a lot of assets at Amazon that this team gets to lean on. So they're doing their own local invention, but they also get access to all of the software that we've honed at Amazon over the last 19 years to make e-commerce really friction-free and easy. So, so far so good. It's a great team.
But tell me, you spoke about how mobile phones are preponderant in India, and more than the internet as a device through laptops and computers.
That's right.
It's the mobile phone and smartphones which are going to drive e-commerce in the future. So is there a particular strategy or a play which is specifically focused and devoted to mobile commerce?
Yes, it's we have mobile apps today, and one part of what we're going to do with that investment is continue to invest in that mobile platform to make it even easier for people to buy and purchase from their mobile phones. And of course, mobile phones come in all different capabilities. Some of the high-end phones are very, very capable. Some of the low-end phones need more special apps. So we're working on all of that. We're investing in the whole mobile kind of array of devices.
So would you say then that the focus of your investment would probably be on the mobile platform rather than...
That's a big piece of it. but also separate. Some of that investment is going to go into mobile, but some of it is going to go into infrastructure, transportation, logistics, new fulfillment centers, and new tools and techniques for those small, medium enterprises to be able to get their selection online. We also have a big team of people who goes out and visits the small, medium enterprises and teaches them how to take good photography of their selection, how to get that loaded up, how to create catalog listings. So, we're investing on many different fronts.
There's a famous picture that one saw of you waving from a truck.
Yeah.
And that's probably
super fun.
That's probably the best mode of transport as far as logistics is concerned in India.
I find those trucks beautiful. They're so colorful.
Now, I also read that you're focusing on pet supplies, and somewhere I read that guinea pig food.
Well, I don't know if we're focusing on it, but
guinea pig food is is one of your growth areas, and I found that incredible.
We try to have everything. I'm not sure it's a big category, but.
But is pet supplies going to be one of the domains?
We've been selling pet supplies for a long time. But yeah, I mean, basically it's every kind of category. We started with books, and then we added music, and then we added videos. I'm taking you back in time 18, 17 years. And then I sent an email message to 1,000 randomly selected customers, and I said, besides the things we sell today, what would you like us to sell? And it came back everything, okay. Windshield wipers for your car, and I don't know if guinea pig food was on there or not, but basically people want to be. And what's exciting about for these small and medium sellers here in India is that they can reach a national audience, and then actually even beyond that, we're working on systems so that they'll be able to reach a global audience, because we have hundreds of millions of customers in the U.S. and in Europe, Japan, around the world, and there's no reason why these small Indian sellers can't reach all of those global customers with their unique selection.
You're aware that we are slap bang in the middle of a festival season.
Yes, I am.
And all the big retailers, including Amazon, are just going berserk.
Having sales.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yes, absolutely.
And there's one from a premier rival of Amazon in India, which is doing a big bang sale on the 6th of October. So is this the future, that people will stop going to shops? Or do you think they'll coexist?
I don't think so. I think
they'll coexist?
I think they coexist. There are some things that you can do online that you could never do in a physical shop, but there are also some things you can do with a physical shop that you could never do online. So I think those things will coexist in the future.
India dematerialized its shares many years ago, and people said that it won't work because Indians love the feel of paper. But it worked like a charm, and every single share owned by an Indian is now dematerialized. I find this new trend of people, maybe all the shops seem to be full as well, but I find more and more people seem to be shopping online. So how does this work in the United States, and how do you think it'll work in a developing, emerging economy like India?
How will what work? Sorry, I apologize.
The fact that the two will coexist, because you have the malls and high street selling the goodies, but you also have online, which is selling the same sort of goodies.
Yeah, so I
will tie-ups be one way forward, maybe?
That could be one way forward. And a new equilibrium will emerge over time. That's what will happen.
You've seen the future since you invested in a company like Amazon. So what do you think happens 2 years or 5 years down the road from here?
Well, I think what happens whenever there's new competition, so like online is sort of competition for physical stores, and of course online is also facilitating the business of the physical stores. So a lot of the small sellers that I'm talking about, these small medium enterprises, they are physical stores, but now we're just giving them a new way to access this world. But I think what will happen is whenever there's competition, everybody gets better. Everybody has to raise their game, and so the winner, of course, is the customer, and society gets the winnings.
It's also said that you're a hard taskmaster and completely customer obsessed.
We try to be. That's our core customer value. We have 3 big ideas at Amazon: customer obsession, a passion for inventing. We don't like to do Me Too things. We like to figure out new things to do. And then finally, a willingness to think long term. We like to plant seeds and wait for them to grow into big trees, even if that takes many years. Some of them, of course, don't grow at all. Some of them, we plant a seed and it never sprouts. And those things are failures, and that's okay too. You can't be bold and inventive and without failure. Failure is part and parcel with experimentation. So we sort of accept that.
So tell me about this road trip that you took. What were you thinking? How did you draw up the blueprint for Amazon during that road trip? Because you crisscrossed across the United States.
I wrote the business plan. We flew to I flew to Fort Worth and picked up an old car that my dad didn't need anymore that he gave me, and I took that and I drove that car from Fort Worth to Seattle. And my wife actually did most of the driving while I was working on the business plan. And so I already had the concept, but I had to write down kind of a formal business plan, which helped me clarify a lot of my thinking. And then I used that also to raise money to get the company started. This was in 1994, and I raised the money in 94, 95. It took 60 meetings to raise $1 million. I got about 20 investors to invest $50,000 each, and it was a very hard thing to achieve. Everybody's first question was, what's the internet?
And you sold them that idea?
Well, I sold 20 of 60.
Okay, that's not bad.
40 said no.
Oh, 40 said no?
Yeah.
Okay, but you also worked with hedge funds. You worked with D.
That's
Shaw.
where I was.
Yeah.
That's when I
so
got the idea.
you had an understanding of that part of.
Yeah, we had I worked for a guy named David Shaw, absolutely brilliant computer scientist, and I loved it. And in fact, it was made my decision to leave there and start Amazon very difficult because I really enjoyed the people I was working with, and I liked my boss, and so. But I'm glad I did it. It was I knew that if I tried and failed, I wouldn't regret that, and I worried very much that if I never tried, I might regret having never tried.
So from California, one has heard of garage startups, but yours would be unique. This would be a car startup. Since you spend all your time in the car writing a blueprint.
I guess I never thought of it that way, but I see the point.
But this must be unique. I don't think anybody else has done it.
I don't know.
Okay, then there are these other interests and investments that you've made over time.
Yes.
Particularly in the recent past. Now, Washington Post, you paid $250 million cash and bought one of the most well-respected newspapers in the world.
Yes.
And then there's this space odyssey, space fantasy, call it what you will.
Blue Origin is the name of the company.
Origin is the name. And you believe that you want to settle people in space. So tell us about it. Tell us about both.
Okay. Well, Blue Origin is a childhood dream. When I was 5 years old, I was imprinted with the love of space and space travel. I think it was when I watched Neil Armstrong step onto the moon. Then I became a addict of science fiction, and I read a lot of science fiction, and I became a fan of Star Trek, and all of these things. And so space travel is a solved problem except for two things: it's too expensive and it's too dangerous. So Blue Origin, their long-term vision is millions of people living and working in space, and to make that happen, we have to take it step by step. It's going to take this a multi-decade vision, and we have to take it one piece at a time, and we have to make space travel safer and way less expensive. So that's what we're working on there, and it's a great team of engineers and rocket scientists, and they're doing a terrific job. I want to say, I know a lot about space, and so I would like to congratulate everybody in India on the unbelievable success of the Mars orbiter. The more you know about it, the more impressed you are, because it's just a shocking accomplishment.
More so because I think Gravity cost $110 million.
Oh yeah,
and we did this in 74 million.
Well, Sandra Bullock is not inexpensive.
True. Not after she got the Oscar. True. Tell us about Washington Post. Why Washington Post?
Well, that transaction happened because over 15 years I had become very good friends with Don Graham, the owner of the Washington Post, and it would never have happened if not for that friendship. He wanted the company to go into good hands that would be a steward for the company. It's an important institution. So my biggest concern when I was talking to Don about buying the company was, am I the right owner, because I don't know anything about the newspaper business. And Don's convinced me over time that no, that I didn't need to worry about. They have a great executive team. The people there understand the newspaper business. What they really needed was somebody who understood technology and the internet. So that's so anyway, that's why this happened, and it's fun for me. I'm learning a tremendous amount. It's a fantastic team, and we're growing the paper again.
Do you spend time there? Or?
I do. I spend.
Do you just look at the larger business plan?
Mostly phone calls.
Okay.
But I do spend I visit. I get sometimes the executive team from the Post comes out and visits me in Seattle. Okay. So a little bit of in person, but mostly over the phone.
Mm-hmm. So Blue Origin was most secretive. It's only when you lost the rocket that people actually got to know.
I think of it as quiet. You know, it's space travel is one of those things that's very easy to over dramatize and hype. And
your friend Richard Branson.
I like to say that we'll talk about things after we've done them. You know, because it's you know, it's just it's just a personal preference.
But your friend Richard Branson is directly opposite to what you're telling me.
Well, they're working on a different kind of architecture, but a similar, you know, business plan as Blue Origin. Ours is vertical takeoff, vertical landing, and theirs is kind of more like an airplane.
Mm-hmm. Do you think somewhere in the next couple of years there could be a dovetailing between Blue Origin and, say, our space program? I
don't know. Maybe. I mean, there are certain assets, you know, that could very easily be could aid each other. So yes, that's I haven't spent any time thinking about that. But it's
when you meet the Prime Minister, will you discuss something like this?
I'm going to be at his disposal, so we're going to discuss whatever he wants to discuss.
Mm-hmm. You're also a notorious micromanager.
No, I know you know some people might say that, but actually, my leadership style has had to change over the 20 years that I've been at Amazon. You know, in the beginning, well, it was just me, and of course I'm managing myself very carefully. Mm-hmm. But
but you did well for yourself.
I was the ultimate small business, one person, and then you know, then it became 4 people and 10 people. Today, Amazon is so big, much bigger than I ever expected, that really my primary job is just to be the steward, the custodian of the important values and principles of the company. Those things that I've mentioned, like customer obsession, willingness to be patient and think long term, and importance of invention, seeing problems, seeing obstacles not as problems, but seeing obstacles as opportunities for invention. So those, thinking about things that way and being the, you know, those things are now deeply ingrained in the culture of Amazon. They're habits, but it's my job to keep, you know, inspecting everything and looking and trying to help and trying to raise the standards on those cultural values. Those values are what really drive a company.
Hedge funds, e-commerce, Blue Origin, Washington Post. Where do you go from here?
I'm having so much fun. I follow my passions. You know, you don't get to choose your passions choose you. And my earnest advice to anybody watching this show is figure out what your passions are and follow them.
Thank you so much for your time, Jeff. We hope you've had a good trip in India, and we hope you share your thoughts with the Prime Minister and something comes out of it. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers.